Hi, this is the first video I've made on my new tablet. It's a cool tablet. And it's so weird how this thing is a little off-center. But anyway, LDA here. I've been more active on Facebook and very much using apps to get more views on my videos on YouTube, but just the content I make, it's how I feel. And I guess conclusions, finished results of contemplation. I know some of them are considered controversial, but a lot of that controversy stems from opinions that were generated on ignorant facts, or facts in parentheses, but ignorant, inaccurate knowledge, erroneous input, where just sweeping examples where people say Islam's a religion of peace when the actual word Islam means submission. So the peace is contingent on submission. Once the prerequisite of the whole world being being agreeable or conceding to submission to Allah in His incarnation of how He's represented and described through Muhammad, who derived this brilliant knowledge from Angel Gabriel, who I don't believe, taking all the facets of Islam and Islamism and Sharia, and I don't take things or listen to professionals or scholars that just say things from the Quran and the Quran only, because the Quran is not the whole enchilada. There's 3 books that make up the whole enchilada. It's not a very tasty enchilada. Not one I want to sit down and eat. The Quran says, Allah is the greatest deceiver, for one thing, but He is all-knowing and all this, and that what He wants Muslims to do, to be good Muslims, is to be just like him. He is the example you should follow. He is the outline that you should emulate yourself to be as much like Him as possible, and embrace His edicts, His morals, His declarations should be taken at face value, part and parcel, and also not questioned or shifted or changed due to anything. So the one thing the Quran lacks is a lot of intricate information about Muhammad. So you're supposed to follow this guy, well, what did he do, what's the in and outs of him, what's the intricacies that I'm supposed to follow as my blueprint for how I live my life and how I conduct myself and how I have outlooks on other religions and people who aren't Muslims and women and Muslim or non, and law, legal system, politics, and details of everyday life, eating with whatever hand, and tenets of Islam. But you have to have the other textbooks for the school of hate and illogical insanity. These 2 books are called the Hadith and the Sirah. The whole 3 of them together is called the Sunnah. Might be a little awful, but one of them is the sayings of Muhammad, and the other one's the times of Muhammad, what happened to him, his reaction, how his followers, and this and this. So, if you take all these passages from the Quran, and also one big factor of the Quran, one big detail that people don't know, is the abrogation. abrogation term denotes that no matter what sequence passages come in that text, and one can be in chapter 10 and one can be in chapter 2, but if the text wasn't written linearly, chronologically linearly, whereas maybe the chapter 10 aspect was written chronologically prior to the chapter 2, that maybe waters it down, makes it less cruel, or totally is the opposite of it. We go by abrogations, the more later verses are the definitive ones. They supersede. Basically, the Medina verses supersede the Mecca verses. Wipes them out. Null and void. Cancelled. So a lot of people try to squirm out of that and say, well, these peace waters, these peace waters. No. They were wiped out and struck through. Later ones. Muhammad became a warlord, a politician, and just a mean-ass, cruel-ass, evil man. That's something I say hard one lot, and I've been told by one of my ex-boyfriends that I constantly ranting about the goddamn Muslims. Well, that's his word. I don't use the word GD. I just was being quoteful, but they're ignorant, they're trusting of something that can't be trusted. It's not that I have anything against Muslims, the people themselves. Just as if someone during McCarthyism or during the whole Red Scare, they might be very doubtful of being able to trust a communist person. But they don't, or they shouldn't hate the individual human being themselves. That person was to turn around in 360 and go totally Democrat. Not Democrat like the political party, but embrace democracy and personal rights and all this stuff, then they're still a good person. They're salvageable. Same with an Islamist. Well, not as much of them as a moderate Muslim. The person's moderate, the religion is not. If they really got delved into it and they knew the whole kit and caboodle, they would be a devout Muslim, and therefore believe in cruelty and warfare, because that's what true, unadulterated religion is. And it's not just a religion, it's a theology and a ideology, and it's all the political. So when someone's going to vote for Elon Omar or whatever, thinking they're a threat, they're asking for trouble. And spiral and snowball so quick. Look into Muhammad's life, his lifetime, what he did. Whole tribes of Jews he slaughtered. Don't let him get power here. Don't even slightly concede to having Sharia courts here in the United States. And honor killings still happen all over the world. Honor killings happen in the UK. They happen in the United States. So it's not just over in Middle East. It's not just there. And there's the FGM. There's been instances where parents have been caught, busted, trying to have their daughters travel to other countries to have their body mutilated. And it's done everywhere. It's just like, we'll say it's a cultural thing. No, it's shallings of Muhammad, and I know it happens in other religions, but it's mostly publicized from Islam, and it's horrible. In the Sharia court, a woman's testimony is considered half as applicable as a man's, because women get confused easily. That's why hell's going to be full. And get this, Islam, religion of peace. Well, it's not peace for a woman who gets raped, and then maybe she has an outcry. She tells people she was raped, and then Islam. You know what? They tell me this is crazy. Women has to have 2 or 4 witnesses that have to be male, that weren't the rapist, who witnessed the attack, and testify on her behalf that I saw this guy rape this woman, and sat there and watched it. Now, so she's not even taking at face value until she's got 2 male witnesses, Muslims, who watched the attack, who saw it and didn't. That's surreal. This is